Okay, we're going to try this now. So, hello there. My name is Erados12, and today is a special day because we're doing something that we've probably never seen before, but it's still a thing. Anyways, let's get started. So, the first thing you're going to notice here is that I have something up here. Or actually, let me go back into it. We have something up here called the editor, or whatever you want to call it. And then we have something down here called the run button. Now, if you're wondering what this is, you can just judge by the title. This is the Quetzal stuff. Now, Quetzal is a programming or scripting language, whichever one you want to call it, in which is used for certain things in the game, Rod, Blog, and Warfare, specifically the Smithery mode, and many other modes that will run Smithery-based modes, or maps, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, we are going to start running it now. So if we go to the main test script here, you'll see that there's nothing there. What I want to start with, and hold on, in fact I'll have to get my list, so I'll be right back. So, hang tight. Alright, got my list. So what we're going to start with is called strings. So if you'll notice, I can do this. So if I do something like let string 1 equal my favorite quote from Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, then we can do something like this. Now to observe that, we have to press run. Not just this button, but that button too. The one that I was about to point to, but it got stopped. Oh, and we have an error. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We have to do some changes, because I actually had to prepare for this kind of thing. So I'm going to do main test script. That's where it's at. You can see that in replicated storage. This is only for demo purposes. Do not try this at home. So as you can see, there's a string. There's Obi-Wan's quote from when he battled General Grievous, and here is the print statement. Let's run it. Now if you look in the output, it says hello there, which is odd, right? Now we're going to try something else. We're going to try let bool 2 or bool 1 equal true, and then we can print that as well. So if I try bool 1, as you can see, Booleans work just like they do in other languages, and strings work like they do in other languages, as long as they're quotes. You can't use single quotes. You cannot use here docs, which is those long strings that you would find, like the one we're using right now to make this happen. So let's do it. As you can see, it says true. And it works. Now the hard part is coming right now. Don't be surprised. So, observe. Delegate greet function greet hello there, or just HT, and we'll do print string 1. Now what you see here is called a delegate function. Now if you've heard of delegates, they're most likely going to be found in something like C#. Now what is C#? Well, C# is basically the thing that allows you to make, well, object-oriented programs, such as what they use with WPF, things like that. And not just UWP, but also you'll have other things in the mix regarding C#, like .NET, ASP.NET specifically. So what am I talking about? Well, C# has something called a delegate. And what is a delegate? Well, it's an event handler. Now let me show you this in a simplistic manner. Delegate is just the word delegate. It starts it off. However, what is this? This is what you call an event name. The @ sign followed by brackets and whatever text is in between indicates an event name because that's how we made it. The event name has to exist and it has to be registered in the runtime in order for you to run it. In other words, if there's no event, this will not work. Anyways, the function is what's used as part of the delegate. That's what's used when you call the event. So now, we're going to try this. As you can see, this is the greet HT, and then it prints whatever's up here. In order to use this, however, you have to emit the event. So let me show you that. Emit, just like you would have in C++ when you use Qt. This is emit, followed by the event name, which is greet, and then the parentheses. Now you could put parameters in here, but there are no parameters for this event. And hold on, let me adjust my audio. Yeah, you might not be able to hear me, but that's fine. Anyways, this is how we're going to do it. So we have emit greet. And I may want to adjust my mic volume so that we can get this right. Yeah, I may have to adjust it because it's a little loud. Anyways, you get the point. We're supposed to do this right. So basically, the way we're supposed to do this is simple. Emit greet is like this. Okay? Just remember that. Now, watch what happens when we run it. So you have it right here, and you have the function right there, and you have everything you need. Now, if we look into the output, it does it again. Why? We didn't call it twice. It just does it. The event emits, and it works just like that. Now we covered events and delegates, so now we're going to do numbers. To do such a thing, we're going to have to create another variable. In this case, I'm going to show you this. So we're going to do M1 should be 1. Now, we'll print that value just to see what it says. Alright. Close this. Run it. And now we'll run it again. As you can see, it says 1. Yes, it literally says 1. So now all we have to do is do some arithmetic. So the first arithmetic we're going to do is, you guessed it, addition. To do that, you'll wonder, why am I doing this? Well, as you can see, this is called variable mutation. Because remember, this is kind of based on Zirconium, the language that was made for Roblox under GitHub using TypeScript. However, we translated the code a little bit to what should be called Lua, but in a way that works for Quetzal. Specifically, it's row strap compatible. If you've ever watched my row strap videos, you'll understand that I use it for my game Roadblock and Warfare. However, we have never used this in this light before. So there are some differences, as you can see, such as the delegates being added in. The prefix used to be the $, now it's actually the ampersand. And now we have this, which is the variable mutation operator. Basically, you have an ampersand followed by the variable name in parentheses, and then you just do what you got to do with it. So now we're going to do print M1. Let's see what happens. As you can see, the code is right there, and it runs perfectly. 1, 6 now. This is 6. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is maybe another variable operation. So we'll do M2 equals, let's just say 7. And we'll do another one of these. M1 equals M1 times M2. Now to do that, you will need these ampersands. And then, after that, we'll copy this and print the value. Now watch as I do it, or run the code. It works, obviously. And now we will do the next part. Let M3 should be 7 again. Okay, M1 equals M1 divided by M3. And let's print that. Now let's try it again. Okay, so we have that. Run it. 6, just like we had before. We divided it back to 6. Or divided it by 7 to get it back to 6. And finally, we have subtraction. So we'll do that. M1 equals M1 minus 3. Print M1. Now let's see what happens. As you can see here, it works. There's 3, there's 6, there's 42, and there's 6. Perfect, right? Next part we're going to get into is actually going to be functions. Now we covered functions before, but we didn't cover them in depth. So we are going to make one. Function. Goodbye. And I don't mean that literally. This is just a function. And we'll do message return. Now if it doesn't work, I'll try something else, but if it does, we'll be fine. So we're going to try return goodbye. And in fact, let's just not do the message because we're not there yet. It doesn't have concatenation yet, but we will make it happen if it's a string sooner or later. And you might see another demo of all the new features before the release of Smithery on the 14th of June, as in this month. Probably on the 7th, you'll see it. Anyways, let's just get this done. So now we can do print goodbye. Let's run that and see what happens. And it prints goodbye, just like that. As you can see, this is a return statement. Before, this was not working. Now, it truly is. So goodbye is there. Print goodbye. Bam, works. Now for the next part, which is going to be arrays. So to do an array, we'll do let array equals 2, 4, 8. Gonna space them out so that they look good, and make this one a little bit better. Perfect. Now to get a value, you do print array, let's just say 2, or whatever number you would like that's in the range. It starts from 0, it ends at the length of the array minus 1. It's just like C++, but run by Lua. I call it interpreted squared because it's similar to interpreted squared, you know, like it's interpreted twice. Anyways, let's just do this. So now we'll do print array 2, okay, and we have an error. I wonder what that could be. Hold on. I'll be right back when I fix it. So you won't hear any audio for right now. I'm just going to fix it on stream and then we'll be right back. Actually, let me take that back. I may want to explain some things while I'm on stream. Let's just do it. So, as you can see here, this is the parser thing, or the thing that actually runs the parser. So I'm going to comment this out. This is what I usually do when I see these errors. It usually works, but somehow it didn't, which is odd, but no worries. We'll get through this. So now we're going to try that again and see what the heck is going wrong with this. And as you can see, you expected. Wow. Really? That's shocking. It usually works, but I guess I can just say that we can fix that. Now I do have another script that I said I wasn't to myself earlier. I wasn't going to show you this, but we're going to do it anyway. Oh, and as you can see, I have, yes, now I remember. So this actually has to be done beforehand in this language. And I'm not joking, I'm dead serious. You take this, move it out, and we'll do print val, see what happens. Run that, and as you can see, 8 is the value of this. Now what this means, and what I almost forgot, was that you cannot do anything with this number here, bare bones like this, in here, unless you have it in a variable. It's true. I actually remembered seeing this earlier. Just forgot about all of it. Anyways, let's move to objects. So let object 1 equal this. So now we'll do, let's just say, object 1 should be name Quetzal, type of language. Okay, so now we have that. Let's just do this right. So let's do let name, okay, object1.name, and we're going to make sure that this is actually not supposed to use the dot notation anymore like it was in Zirconium, but we're going to use the literal string notation. Why? It's easier and it's more precise. You can get things that have spaces as well, so that's another benefit of that. We're going to print name1 And there you have it. Now let's see if this works. Yeah, I got a lot of errors from my plugin. It doesn't matter. So let's just run this. So as you can see, it's down here, and if we go into the output, it says Quetzal, which is cool. Now the last thing we're going to go over before I end this stream is going to be, you guessed it, Enums. If you don't know already, for those of you who don't, Zirconium recently added Enums. I saw this and I was like, why not add it myself? Maybe it could work. And that is where this comes in. So to define enums, you will do enum followed by the enum name. We'll do dimension. And then we'll do this. And then we'll do first, second, third. Now you could do the equal sign, but we'll have to figure that out later. And fourth. There's a fourth dimension. Space and time. So now we'll do let dim equal, and you have to do this with the literal notation. There is no dots for this. Fourth, print dim dim. So now as you can see, it is working. Well, actually it's not really working yet, we have to check it. But it uses the same notation as objects, except in this case it's for an enum. Now watch as it runs. So if I run this, right, this is all the way at the bottom, watch what happens. It works. And if I were to add more to it, like this, dim equals dimension second, which is 2D, like what you would see in most games that are budget friendly. Alright, and we'll do dim again, and then we'll put the comma here. Now watch this. As you can see, this is the fourth and second, so when we run it, as you can see, it works. 3 is fourth, because remember, it's 0 based. And same thing with second. So, with that being said, we are now finished with what we have to do, which was the Quetzal demo. Next week, you will see the following: while loops, switch statement, yield statement, and maybe more things, maybe even a standard lib if you want, maybe even a class. The other two are optional that I just mentioned, the latter two. The other three are confirmed and will actually happen. So, with that being said, my name is Erados12, and I will see you guys in the next demo.